Have you ever noticed how the smallest things can hold the greatest power? A soft laugh, a passing glance, the way her presence changes the entire atmosphere in a room without her saying a single word. He may not say it out loud, but there are moments, quiet, subtle and real, that melt his guard, shift his heartbeat, and make him see her differently forever. And the truth? It's never about being loud, never about chasing, never about performing. It's in how she moves when she's not trying. It's in how she loves, without needing to prove that love. The little things, when they come from the right woman, are never little. They become unforgettable. In this world where everything feels rushed, where people pretend and relationships lose their meaning, the woman who knows how to move with intention, grace and softness becomes unforgettable. She's not bending over backwards. She's not begging for attention. She's simply being. And that being, the way she exists in her truth, has a way of melting even the most guarded heart. Not because she's trying to impress him, but because she is herself. And when she is herself, that's when he begins to feel something he can't ignore. They say a man falls not when a woman tries harder, but when she shows up softer, when she's secure, when she chooses kindness over chaos, respect over reaction, playfulness over pressure. Think of the ocean, queens, not the crashing storm, but the gentle waves that pull you in slowly, steadily, without force. That's what these small things do. They reach into the soul without asking permission. They leave an imprint without trying too hard. That is the kind of woman he can't forget. That is the kind of woman who makes him want to stay. And now, lovely woman, this is your reminder. Your softness is not weakness. Your little gestures, the ones you think go unnoticed, those are the things that live rent-free in his mind. A touch, a word, a quiet act of loyalty. The little things matter more than you realize, and a woman who moves with care, intention, and self-respect. She becomes the calm in a world that keeps spinning. She becomes the peace he didn't know he needed. So listen, Queen, not because someone gave you a crown, but because you finally realized your presence is the crown. And from this moment on, you won't try harder to be seen. You'll simply exist so fully, so gracefully, that the right heart will melt the moment it encounters yours. Write this in the comments and claim it. My softness is unforgettable. And queens, if this message spoke to you, like this video and subscribe, because we're building something real. And real always wins. Number 1. The way she looks at him when he's not watching. Have you ever seen the way his whole world shifts because of a look he didn't even catch? The kind of glance that isn't loud, but lingers. It's not staged. It's not performative. It's quiet. But it hits him like a storm. The truth is, when a woman looks at him like he's more than enough, like she sees past the surface, past the mistakes, into the depth of him, it does something to his heart that no loud declaration ever could. He won't say it. He might not even realize it right away. But that moment, it stays with him. A woman's eyes are not just for seeing, they're a mirror. And when she looks at him with softness instead of judgment, with curiosity instead of control, with admiration instead of pressure, it disarms him. It makes him feel safe. And men, real men, they never forget the feeling of safety wrapped in someone's gaze. It's rare, it's priceless, and it melts him in ways he didn't think possible. Sometimes the most powerful love is given in silence, through a glance that says, I see you, and I still choose you. That's what changes him. That's what makes her unforgettable. Think of a candle flame flickering in the dark. It's small, gentle, but in total darkness, that single light shifts everything. That's what her look does. It's not loud, but it warms. It's not loud, but it leaves a mark. That's why it melts him, because it's real. It's not for show, it's for him. And lovely woman, maybe you never realized your power in that moment. Maybe you thought it was nothing, but he felt it. He noticed the way you looked at him when he didn't know you were watching. That's what reached his heart. Not the perfection, not the performance, the presence, the energy that says, I see your flaws, and I still choose to love you here. This is the moment where you stop underestimating your softness, because that look, that presence, that quiet love, it's your power. And it doesn't make you less, it makes you unforgettable. Beautiful woman, this is where the crown begins to form, not from shouting, but from seeing deeply. That's what melts him. That's what roots him. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My presence melts hearts without words. And if this message reminded you of your quiet power, like this video and subscribe. We're here, creating real lessons that awaken the woman who doesn't chase. She reigns. Number 2. The calm she brings in a world that tries to break him. There's a moment he'll never forget, not the moment she kissed him, not even the first time she said, I love you, but the moment she simply looked at him, saw his chaos, and didn't flinch. That quiet, unshaken energy, that calm. The world had been loud that day. He was tired, frustrated, heavy with things he couldn't even put into words. And she didn't try to fix it. She didn't give him a speech. She just was there, fully present. Her energy said, you don't have to be strong right now. You're safe here. And that melted him in a way no one else ever had. You see, there's something sacred about the woman who knows how to be soft in a world that keeps turning sharp. When she walks in peace, she becomes the silence that heals his noise. He may never say it out loud, but deep inside, he holds on to that stillness like breath. Because when everything around him tries to pull him apart, she becomes his center. And that's not weakness. That's rare power, the kind that can't be bought, only felt. A calm heart is a hidden fortress, and when that calm comes from her, it does something he doesn't expect. It doesn't just melt his heart, it humbles it, because real connection isn't built on noise or control. It's built on the energy of a woman who can sit in the storm without losing her stillness. Think of her like a lighthouse. The sea around him might rage, crash, threaten to pull him under. But there she is, steady, glowing, unmoved. She doesn't chase his storm. She doesn't fear it. She just keeps shining. And sooner or later, he finds his way home. Lovely woman, this is where your power lies. Not in what you force, not in what you fix, but in what you hold. And what you hold is sacred. The right man doesn't want a loud performance. He wants a soft landing, a place he can breathe. And when you become that, he melts, not out of weakness, but out of awe. You are not just a woman. You are the calm he didn't know he needed. You are not fighting for a place in his life. You already became the place. Write this in the comments and claim it. My calm is unforgettable. We're building the kind of strength that speaks without shouting. And that's the kind that lasts. Number 3. The way she touches him during ordinary moments. There's something powerful about a touch that doesn't ask for attention. something unforgettable about the way she reaches for him, not during the big moments, but in the quiet, ordinary ones. When he's driving and she gently places her hand on his arm, when he's deep in thought and she runs her fingers through his hair, when he's not expecting anything at all, and suddenly he feels everything. That kind of touch. It doesn't scream. It whispers, "I'm here, I see you, and I choose you." And those are the moments that melt him without warning. It's never about the grand gestures. It's about the way she pulls him back to himself, softly, without needing a single word. A woman's touch, when it comes from a place of care and calm, is a language all its own. And he feels it, in his chest, in his breath, in the silence between his thoughts. Because men remember how a woman made them feel when they weren't trying to be noticed. The smallest touch at the right time can break down the biggest wall. Even the softest hand can carry the weight of love, and her hand, it doesn't just rest on his skin, it anchors his heart. Think of a musician who touches the keys of a piano with emotion instead of force. That's her energy, deliberate, quiet, deep. And suddenly, he's no longer guarded. He's open, he's vulnerable, he's present with her in a way he isn't with anyone else. That's the power of touch, when it's done with heart, not habit. And now, beautiful woman, it's time to remember who you are. You don't have to perform. You don't have to chase. You don't have to push. You are the energy he didn't know he needed until he felt it. That quiet touch, the one you give during everyday moments, is not small. It's soul work. It reminds him what connection really feels like. Let him feel your softness. Let him remember it long after the moment has passed. Because that gentle, real, loving energy, that is what makes a woman unforgettable. That is what pulls him closer when words fail. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My touch speaks louder than words. We're working hard to give you the truth, the power, and the life-changing lessons every queen deserves. Your time to rise starts now. Number 4. The way she defends his name in rooms he'll never walk into. There's something powerful about a woman who speaks with grace, especially when the person she's defending isn't even in the room. A man can feel when his name is safe with her, even if he never hears the words, even if he's never told, he feels it. That unspoken loyalty, that unseen protection, that quiet strength she carries when others speak on him, that melts something inside him that no touch ever could. He may not say it, but deep down, it shifts something. Because while many women crave to be seen, she becomes unforgettable by the way she guards what matters to her, even when no one's watching. The world today is loud with gossip, noise, and shallow conversations. But when she speaks about him with respect, when she corrects false assumptions or simply refuses to join in on careless talk, he feels something deeper than attraction. He feels honor. A man never forgets the woman who had his back in silence, the woman who didn't need attention for it, the woman who chose integrity over popularity. It's a small thing maybe, but to him, it's everything. As the saying goes, character is what you do when no one's watching. And when she chooses to defend his name in rooms he may never enter, she becomes rare. It's like placing gold in a vault and never bragging about it. He may not always know the details, but his heart senses the difference. Her energy speaks for him when he's not there. And that kind of energy? That's what makes a man feel deeply connected. Not through words, but through presence, through loyalty, through depth. Think of her as a flame that doesn't flash. She doesn't need the spotlight. She warms, she glows, she protects. And that quiet protection, it speaks louder than any grand display ever could. That is the kind of woman he dreams about. That is the kind of love he doesn't run from. He runs toward. So hear me now, beautiful woman. Your words hold weight. And when you speak with power, with protection, with truth, he feels it. Whether he's next to you or miles away, your energy surrounds him. That's the kind of softness that stuns a man. That's what earns his respect without demand. Write this in the comments and claim it. My loyalty speaks even in silence. And queens, if this lit something in you, like this video and subscribe. We're building something sacred here. And you're not just part of it. You are the reason it exists. Number 5. The way she laughs, fully, softly, without holding back. Have you ever noticed what happens to his energy when you laugh? Not the polite kind, not the filtered one, but the real thing. That soft, effortless laugh that escapes your lips when you're fully in the moment, free of worry, free of pretending. It hits him, quietly, unexpectedly, powerfully, because that laugh, it reminds him of life before the walls, before the pressure, before the weight, and in that moment, he doesn't just hear it, he feels it. That laugh becomes a sound he starts craving without knowing why. It's not loud, it's not rehearsed, but it melts him because it's real. He may not say it out loud, but when you laugh like that, it tells him you're safe within yourself, that you're not controlled by fear or trying to impress. It shows him that joy lives inside you, not because of him, but because of who you are. And that shakes him in the best way. Because men don't fall for noise, they fall for the moments that feel like home. And a woman who can laugh without holding back carries the kind of warmth that softens his armor. Think of a sunrise queen. It doesn't ask for attention, it just rises, it just shines, and yet it changes the mood of the world. That's your laugh. It shifts the room. It shifts his heart. When he sees you light up without needing anyone's permission, something inside him says, she's different. Not because you tried to be, but because your spirit refused to stay hidden. And now, lovely woman, understand this clearly. Your laugh is not small. It is not silly. It is not just sound. It is an emotional key. It is a soft rebellion. It is a reminder that your joy cannot be taken or tamed. He can find beauty anywhere. But joy? That's rare. That's magnetic. That's what he remembers when no one else is around. That's what he misses when the world goes quiet. So, beautiful queen, don't shrink your smile. Don't hide your laughter. Let it echo. Let it dance. Let it melt the heart that was meant to feel it. Because your joy is not just for you. It's the light that reminds him what love is supposed to feel like. Write this in the comments and claim it. My laughter is unforgettable energy. We're working hard to bring you real truth, real power, and real healing, because the softest parts of you, those are the ones that change everything. Number 6. The way she listens without trying to control. Have you ever watched a man fall in love with silence? Not the silence of absence, but the silence of being heard. It's a rare kind of moment. The moment when he speaks, unsure, guarded, maybe even broken, and she doesn't interrupt. She doesn't jump in to fix him. She doesn't try to rewrite his thoughts. She just listens, fully, softly, without trying to control. And in that stillness, his walls fall. Because finally, He feels like his voice matters. Finally, he feels safe. Some women try to impress a man by being louder, but the one who melts his heart is the one who listens with quiet strength. She doesn't need to overpower. She doesn't chase validation. She gives space for him to think, to feel, to breathe. And when a man realizes she's not listening to change him, but to understand him, something shifts inside him. He feels peace. He feels seen. That is the power of presence, not performance. Sometimes the greatest power is found in the space between your words. That's the truth. Because in relationships, it's not always about what you say. It's about what you don't say. And the woman who knows when to be silent, when to listen, when to simply hold space without trying to control the outcome, that woman becomes unforgettable. She's not passive, she's powerful. Because silence, when chosen, is not weakness, it is mastery. Think of her like a soft river. She doesn't force her way through the mountain. She glides, steady and calm, and eventually shapes the stone. That's the kind of presence he remembers, not the one who pushed, but the one who understood, the one who trusted him to find his way while still standing beside him. And now, beautiful woman, if you've ever felt like being quiet made you invisible, let me tell you something. Your stillness is not empty. It's powerful. Your ability to listen without trying to control is one of the most magnetic traits a woman can carry. That softness, that calm, that's what he remembers in his hardest hours, and that's what he comes back to. So rise, dear woman, not by speaking more, but by knowing when to speak less. Let your energy do the talking. Let your presence be the peace he didn't know he needed. You are not here to control him. You are here to be remembered. Write this in the comments and claim it. My silence is powerful. My presence is unforgettable. We're building life-changing truths, and real love starts with you. Number 7. The way she still chooses him, even on the days he feels unworthy. There's a kind of love that doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it doesn't demand to be seen, it just stays. And that kind of love, that's what makes him melt. Not because she's chasing him, not because she's proving anything, but because, even when he's feeling low, even when he thinks he's falling short, she still chooses him, quietly, fiercely, fully. And in that moment he realizes, this is different. She isn't choosing the version of him that's perfect. She's choosing the version of him that's real. And that does something to a man's heart. It disarms him. It humbles him. It breaks down walls he didn't even know he built. You see, any woman can love him when he's winning, but the one who still sees him when he's at his worst, that's the one he'll never forget. That's the one who stays on his mind long after the crowd fades, long after the noise dies down. A man may not say it, but deep down he fears failure. He fears not being enough. But when she still looks at him like he's everything, even when he feels like nothing, that's when she becomes irreplaceable. Think of a candle in a dark room. It doesn't scream. It doesn't try to overpower the night. It just lights up the space it's in. That's her. She becomes the light when he's surrounded by shadows. And no matter how cold the world feels, her presence says, "You are not alone." And that one small thing, her choosing him, not for who he pretends to be, but for who he truly is, melts even the toughest heart. Because real love doesn't wait for the perfect moment. It shows up in the broken ones. And if you're that kind of woman, the one who still loves gently when it's not easy, the one who holds space when words fail, You are the kind of woman who makes a man better just by standing beside him. You are not ordinary. You are not replaceable. You are not forgettable. And no matter how the story unfolds, he will always remember the woman who stayed when he couldn't even stay for himself. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I choose with depth, not conditions. If this truth spoke to your soul, like this video and subscribe, because we're here building powerful lessons, real healing, and a world where women no longer chase to be chosen. They reign because they already are.